Imagine trying to invite a friend over, but instead of giving a street address, you read off your exact latitude and longitude coordinates. That is actually how computers locate each other. Every device connected to the internet is assigned an IP address, a long, specific string of numbers acting as its exact coordinates on the network. While machines are perfectly happy reading and processing millions of those numeric coordinates in a fraction of a second, human memory struggles with them. Try remembering a dozen different strings of numbers just to check your email, read the news, and buy a pair of shoes. For the internet to be usable for everyday people, it required a translation layer. We needed a way to browse the web without forcing anyone to memorize raw numerical data. That solution is the domain name. Think of it as a human-friendly street address for the internet. Look at this diagram. Instead of typing an IP address like 192.168.1.1 into your browser, that numeric coordinate morphs into a recognizable word-based label like mywebsite.com. This simpler naming system meant anyone could open a web browser and easily find what they were looking for using familiar words. A domain name points to a website, but it isn't the site itself. It's the signpost that tells your computer where to find the content. To understand how these signposts work, we can break them down into specific parts. Domain names are built using distinct labels, which are always separated by dots. Left of the dot is the second-level domain, the unique brand name chosen by the registrant. Right is the top-level domain, or TLD, acting as the general neighborhood. Extensions categorize the site's purpose, like .org for nonprofits or .in for India. Combining these labels creates a one-of-a-kind address, ensuring that no two websites on Earth can share the exact same name. This raises an underlying mechanical question. When you type those words into your browser, how does your computer actually know which numerical IP address it needs to connect to? Early on, the answer was completely manual. Scientists maintained a single text file mapping host names to their corresponding numbers, sharing it by hand. As the network grew, that became impossible to manage, so engineers built the Domain Name System, or DNS. You can picture DNS as a massive automated contacts app for the entire internet. When you enter a domain name, the DNS acts like a robotic directory. It instantly looks up the name you typed, searches its database, and dispenses the hidden IP address straight to your browser to make the connection. Without DNS working invisibly in the background, our human-friendly street signs wouldn't mean anything to the machines trying to route our traffic. Before setting up a site, there's a common point of confusion we need to clear up. Owning a domain name is not the same thing as having a website. If the domain is your street address, then web hosting is the physical plot of land and the house itself. Hosting is the physical server space where all your website's actual files, images, and text live. The transactions are separate. Buying a domain merely registers the exclusive right to use that specific signpost for a set amount of time. You still have to pay a hosting provider for the server space to hold your data. The final technical step in launching your site is connecting the two. You have to configure and point the domain's DNS settings toward your hosting provider's servers, planting your signpost in your specific yard. A functioning digital presence strictly requires both of these elements working together, the hosting space to hold content and the domain signpost to guide visitors to your door. Zooming out, the entire internet is essentially a vast, highly organized digital neighborhood made up of these interconnected addresses and houses. Securing your own custom domain name allows you to build a professional brand identity, creating credibility and trust that you simply don't get borrowing a free subdomain from another platform. To keep this massive neighborhood functioning without any duplicate addresses or routing errors, the naming rules and policies are constantly overseen by global administrative organizations. Ultimately, a domain name is simply your unique, human-friendly front door to your piece of the digital world. Every time you type a web address into that bar, you're tapping into a massive, invisible map that keeps the digital world connected.